wrap up my iCarly week, I'm gonna be reviewing I Got a Hot Room. Granted, this episode is mostly mixed from my perspective after rewatching this for preparation for this video, but on the other hand, I can say that it's a good way to wrap up a week that could have been a month or marathon of, but then again, what are you gonna do? Carly has turned 16 on her birthday, and her friends and family, namely Spencer, are celebrating her birthday along with her students at school. Well, his student friends, if you know what I mean. The first half of this episode is mainly the main characters and the supporting characters celebrating Carly's birthday after she turned 16. Nothing really special, but in the second half of the episode, this episode takes a turn for the worse involving Carly's birthday. Because not only Spencer gets a haircut from Gibby's grandfather, who has an issue of looking things because he's blind. I would discuss how much I found this subplot somewhat entertaining, but the thing is, once Spencer gets his haircut, which is during the second half, which is still in the first half of this episode, we never get to see this subplot again. Granted, there's another subplot going on, but when it comes to that subplot that is leading to the main plot, there's really nothing to discuss about the other subplot in this episode. Anyway, the other gift that Spencer has for Carly is a gummy bear lamp, which is what Carly desperately wants. But unfortunately, the lamp bursts into flames, causing Carly's entire apartment to be burned into shreds. Let me tell you, for an episode involving Carly's birthday and a way to start off the fourth season, the fourth season, while not as good as the earlier seasons, is considered the most underrated season out of the entire series from my perspective. Other than Carly's friends distracting her so that she can walk with T-Bow while they work to fix her bedroom or also improve it, there's really nothing to discuss about this episode except it's a really good episode. And for me personally, with an episode that doesn't involve the web show that much, I still think that an episode without the web show could work if the plot is a little bit more entertaining and mostly heartwarming. I mean, yeah, it is odd to say that involving an episode like this, but when it comes to I Save Your Life and I Goodbye, there are heartwarming moments, and the scene, well, Spencer found out that the watch from her great-grandmother was burned inside of Carly's old apartment that was inherited by her. It's actually worth a fortune by costing $82,000, and he managed to receive that money from one of his lawyers so that he can use the money to repair Carly's bedroom. You know, the more I watch these episodes and how advanced they are when it comes to the ideas that I haven't looked through when I was a teenager, it really goes to show how lucky and unlucky the characters are. Specifically Spencer, because let me just say that the fact that he managed to get $82,000 all because it was from her grandmother's watch that was worth a fortune that was burned inside of Carly's apartment. There's always something interesting to think that all this would have never happened when it comes to Carly's bedroom being rebuilt if grandmother's watch wasn't in her bedroom to begin with. Although it does lead to possible opportunities that were scrapped, like what does Carly's room look like, since that all we've seen is her web show, apartment studio, and the living room. That's literally the only places, and there are only bits and pieces where we get to see Spencer's room, but not Carly's bedroom. Granted, this isn't really about which bedroom is superior. I'm just saying that if we actually saw Carly's bedroom in the first season and we actually see everything in it when it comes to grandmother's watch that is worth a fortune, I honestly think that this episode will make a lot more sense compared to the other episodes that came out after this. Granted, those episodes didn't retcon episodes from the earlier seasons, but at the same time, this episode is a prime example that we could have seen a lot more in the earlier seasons with details like these. Anyway, what I really appreciate what this episode's more is the fact that Spencer is trying to make up his mistake deed that he caused because of the gummy bear lamp that he created, which caused a huge fire in Carly's bedroom. And the fact that he's gonna be using the money that he got from one of his lawyers and completely uses the money to rebuild Carly's bedroom, but even more better, really made me respect Spencer as a character. And it's mostly a shame because this is the 4th season where his character gets way too flanderized. Granted, his episodes like I Got Pranky is considered one of Spencer's best episodes in the later seasons, but every episode after that, it's honestly a shame that flanderization gets the better of so many likable characters. But other than that, I really think that this episode really does a good job of making the first and second half of the episode a lot more better thanks to the ending of this episode. We all know that the first half of the episode is about Carly's friend celebrating her 16th birthday, and then in the second half of the episode, she's depressed because her entire bedroom is destroyed, so she works with T-Bow so that she can get extra cash in order to repay most of the damages in her bedroom, which in my opinion is actually the funniest bits in this episode, which is not saying much considering that this episode is mostly about happiness and depression. And back at the apartment, everyone completely finished her bedroom 100%, so they immediately leave just when Carly heads back to the apartment. Spencer takes Carly to her old bedroom, and then we get a glimpse of one of the best bedrooms that will never happen in the real world. With the amount of money that this company had while doing this episode, when it comes to the filming of this in 2009 or 2010, they were really ahead of the game while also trying to be relevant when it comes to making very fancy bedrooms. Let me tell you for a fact that about 10 years later, there's gonna be bedrooms better than this, but back in 2009 or 10, and the fact that they filmed this, it's honestly really impressive of how far this show has come when it comes to the money they got after the last 3 seasons. When we see the iCarly gang giving Carly the tour of her new rebuilt bedroom is honestly one of the best highlights of not only from this episode, but from the 4th season of iCarly. Let me just say that with the amount of equipment that Carly has, you will probably never see a bedroom or in an apartment that's going to be a lot more advanced than your bedroom. And let me just say, I'm not jealous, but I can guarantee you that for anyone who watched this episode when it aired back in 2010, they were jealous that they couldn't get a bedroom like Carly's. And not only that, Spencer made a gummy bear chandelier with thousands of gummy bears around the chandelier. Seriously, the construction people of these shows, including the actor, are really great professionals. Granted, other construction people from other sitcoms can have their talent of their own, but I can guarantee you that no one's gonna top of what Schneider's Bakery's crew can do when it comes to making rooms like these. I really enjoyed this episode from beginning to end. Not really one of my favorites when it comes to the earlier seasons, but on the other hand, it's one of the most underrated episodes from the 4th season of this show. And if any of you guys are going to request me on which season is superior by doing a ranking video, season 4 would definitely be in the middle between the worst seasons and the best seasons of this show. Not to mention that the 4th season is also the start of the 11th episodes or less that the iCarly seasons are going to get compared to the first 3 seasons that had about 20 episodes each, well, minus season 3. But this isn't really about which season is superior. I'm just saying that the 4th season is considered the most underrated compared to the other seasons. The first season is good, second season good, third season slightly better, and as for the seasons afterwards, the less said the better, because this is iCarly week and we're reaching the end of iCarly week, so we should end this on a good note. So anyway, that's all 5 reviews from iCarly. I give this episode a 7.75 out of 10. And this is going to be the last video involving a week dedicated to a sophistic media for the next 3 or 4 months or something like that, depending on what I have planned later on. Because let's just say that what I have scheduled in the later months is going to be a lot more bigger than just 1 week of uploading 5 videos.
Let's get this started!